Hey, Wednesday, April 2nd. No more of that April Foolsy stuff. Then let's see, we have big dance coming up Friday, April 18th. And then, oh, camp info. It does go out 2 weeks from tomorrow. So we're not at camp in 2 weeks. It just goes out officially on that day. So it'll go out on that Thursday before we leave. And then the day after that is the day that we have the big dance. So apparently that's a big week. And then everything is updated on Skyward, Grade, and Blue Sheet. Hi, Bella.
What if April Fool's is actually on April 2nd and we've just been April Fooled our whole lives?
And then Blue Sheet, again, has now been graded and handed back to you. Those of you who did not turn it in, we got to charge you points and be So as far as test goes that you guys did, I just want to run through it real quick. This gives you an overall breakdown of where the point or where the grades were for it. So what, half of you? How many kids we have? 20. Oh no, 2/3 of you. Math is hard. Got an A on it, so go you guys.
Yeah, I got the
I did too.
So going through it, these are the kind of things I go through and look at to figure out my teaching, if I'm doing good or not so good, is I look at how many questions the class got under 70%. So my question to you is, of those 35 questions, how many do you think the entire class struggled on?
2, 3, 5, 2.
Hold up your fingers, let's find out. Those of you who have fingers. Let's see who
2, because
gets
that's
it.
how many I got
Who
wrong.
doesn't have fingers in this class?
I
I got it right first.
There were only 2 questions that were the ones we struggled on. So then how about how many questions, so I did 2 numbers for this. 1, how many questions did the entire class do really well on, 90% or more. And I also counted how many questions every kid in the class got right. So how many questions on that 35 question test do you think every kid in here got right?
250.
30.
10.
5.
At least 2.
What?
24, you guys had a 90% or higher on. 13 of them, nobody missed. So either I need to write tougher questions, or apparently you guys just did a whole lot of work. So, part of it makes me think if I were to go back and give you the same test 2 months ago before we started, I don't think you guys would have had the same
Presley
grade.
cheated.
I think there's a chance that you guys just learned during this time, which also surprises me. But I think that's what happened. I'm also shocked by it. So the 2 questions you guys struggled on, this was one of them, where it says it was Hermes' job to take dead souls to the underworld. What did he carry with him? Apparently my fake answer of Dwayne's shoes that gave him super speed.
I did that.
They don't care.
Yeah, I did that one.
I did the shoe.
I'm well aware. I tried to make it easy.
Google said the shoe.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So what happens when we Google answers? Is it always correct?
No.
I know. That's why I love letting you guys Google.
I'm sure he carries around his shoes. And so,
And then our other one. Oh, is that the one I put on there? Oh no, I forgot the second one.
Yay!
Oh well, I guess you guys are just smart then.
So there's only one then.
What was
Only
the second
one I
one? I want to
did.
see if it's the other
I
one that
blame
got
Mrs.
wrong.
Butts because while I was doing this, she came in and distracted me with Camp Tecumseh issues, so I blame her.
Issues.
Yes. Issues. You know, nope, that would mean So now that we have finished Greek mythology, my question to you is, did you do well? Or are there things I should keep? What is it you enjoyed? Things I should change? Because again, every year I keep trying to update things and I go off of your guys' opinions from there. Jude?
I need like paper versions of the stories because I'll know the stories. I just don't remember their names.
And so, solid point. Here's my issue, and that's partly where the blue sheet comes in, is there aren't paper versions of the stories. And so like the ones that I do have paper versions of, I gave you guys, and kids complained about that because kids complain about everything. The other versions, like the ones about, say, the background to all the gods, that was just from me reading tons of books and then combining all the information together, so there is no written one. That's actually why I started doing the blue sheet, because kids had that same complaint, because I realized when I've been telling stories for a long time, they blend together. So I started trying to add questions onto there. So this would be my question is, if there's things that I should add to blue sheet that you think would work, that is a thing I could definitely do to try to help. Because I think that's a solid complaint. Eden?
Maybe do like different stories, like instead of doing like all the same stories every year, you could cycle through like a few different ones.
And the drawback is I used to have a bunch of different stories. Like I used to have different stories that I would be able to rotate in and fun ones, but they keep adding more things that I have to teach, so I had to keep cutting stuff, and a lot of it just got cut out. So I had to just go down to the core stories. Trust me, I felt the same way. I used to have a lot more I got to do with it, but they keep making me do more and more things. Caleb.
Way at the beginning of the unit, you said that later in the unit you were going to tell us the story of Iris.
Yeah, there wasn't much of a story. The story of Iris was just that her coming down and the rainbow being behind her. There was not much of a story. I apologize if I think that was more just a, we'll get to it later, was just the idea that there was information about her and the rainbow. Oh, kind of. I guess I did forget that story. Okay. I will tell you the story I did not tell you in just a moment. I now realize what I did not tell you. Let me get through those two, and I'll give you a quick story. Benta.
What if instead it's a blue sheet, it's a blue packet, yo?
No.
Heard you guys
That's
love
okay.
packets.
No.
Definitely.
No.
They get packets in science, so I hear about packets all
Every
the
single
time.
day.
Documentary.
Hi, what's up, Bella?
You should make a paper with like all of the characters or whatever you want to call them, with like a summary of their story.
Too much Brady bits.
That's called.
I mean, kind of. That was the white sheet.
Yeah, but like that was like what they're the god of, not
Yeah.
a summary of their story.
Yeah, that's why you and your brain comes in. Henry?
You can make a sheet.
My
that looks
brother
like
said
that.
you used to call Poseidon Daddy Wet.
No, I didn't. Kids did, and I just let that happen. That was not a thing I did. That was one of the Daddy Wet, because again, kids are strange, and I've just learned to nod my head and go, okay, that's a thing. Benta, so I can move on?
Besides, we're changing the
Yeah, we changed that
Watching
curriculum.
Moana, eating candy, not
Oh,
learning
yeah.
and having fun.
Yeah,
Can
out
I
of luck,
show you
out of
the
luck.
curriculum?
By everybody appearing one.
So, the story I did not get a chance to tell you about Iris that I apologize for not fully getting to. With Iris, there is a bit of a background that went into why. So, what is Iris? What's her job?
Rainbow.
How do we know when she comes down?
Rainbow.
So, here's the background. When do we see rainbows?
When the rain and the sun.
When it's raining and sunny. There was a story in Greek mythology that explained why rainbows happen when it's both sunny and you have the rain. Who does Iris work for? Hera. Who's Hera married to?
Zeus.
What is Zeus's favorite activity?
Be friendly.
Thank you, being friendly. So the issue was, a lot of times, being god of thunder clouds and the god of lightning, when Zeus would come down to earth to make his friends, he would oftentimes try to prevent Hera from seeing his friendships. And one of the quickest ways to hide that was, while he was being friendly, he would make a storm appear above him. And so he would hide himself with a storm. And every once in a while, Hera would walk outside and she would see a perfectly beautiful sunny day and just a rain cloud over a certain area, to which she would get suspicious. Why is it such a beautiful sunny day and there's a rain cloud over that one woman's house? That seems odd. So then she would send her messenger down to go find out. So that was why usually you would see a rainbow whenever it was sunny out, and then you would see a rain cloud. The reason I didn't tell you that story is that I was worried that now every time you see a rainbow, you're going to go, oh, Zeus is making a friend. And I didn't want to ruin rainbows for you. And so now you've got an idea. So next time that you're driving with your parents and you see a rainbow and they go, look, a rainbow, you can go, I have a story. But hopefully that's after you've left my class.
No.
Hi, Eden.
So Iris is the friendly police?
That's way looking. Or she's the rainbow narc. However you want to look at it. So, sure. You can go along those lines. Josh.
How did they explain rain? Because Poseidon's the god of water.
Well, because he's not the god of water. He's the god of the ocean. Yes, there you go. So that would be, he also wasn't the god of like rivers and lakes. He didn't care about that stuff. He just wanted big stuff.
You want to
Alright.
water.
Like big stuff, like me not calling on Benta after he's asked multiple questions that were already kind of strange. Good, then I'll call on Stabby. Stabby?
I was reading one of those thingies.
Yeah, again, a lot of Greek mythology. You put all of your questions into your hands and then just wee. Hi, wee.
Hey, you should tell the story about like Athens and stuff.
I have a lot of stories. We just don't have time. I can do that one quickly though. Hi, twin.
Can I charge my phone?
Yeah, just go plug it in. That's fine. So, we are now going to be... Oh, did I not call on you? That's weird. Getting into our book that we are getting ready to read here. I'm going to give you guys an intro talky thing with it. So, called Gospel According to Larry. With this book, unlike Outsiders, this is not one you get to keep. This is one that you're going to have to give back to me. And so I will still have you get a little post-it note that goes along with it that you get to use. If you want to go out and get your own copy of book, that's fine. If you had a past sibling have a copy of a book, that's fine. It's just that I only have a class set. But you do get to take it home. You just have to be careful and not tear it up and stuff like that. And then I will go through and explain things with the book here in a moment. Hi, Jude. What's up?
My backpack has.
I'm keeping this in here. It's a piece of ancient. Do you want me to make fun of you now or later?
That's a good comment.
But I already wrote that.
Can I say later?
Where's my... Oh, there.
Can I draw a flower?
He said something about writing his name on a post-it note, and now you don't know what to
I'm
write.
gonna draw a fat guy.
Welcome back again.
Okay.
So, with book that we're going to get a chance to talk about here and babble about, tells you right there, first and last name on post-it note, again, so you can find it, book number. You're going to bring book back every day for a bit as we move forward. That sounds like a fun sound.
Yeah.
So, one, I do have a new page on Canvas called the Gospel page. There is an audiobook, but
Yay.
if you go on there to get audiobook, it's kind of weird. If you open this book up and look at, I don't know, like almost any page, you're going to see, one, there are some pictures in the book. I don't know. Makes Bella happy. It's a picture book. But there's also words in the book, so don't get too excited. But at the bottom of a lot of the pages are these things that are called footnotes, which makes it really weird when it gets as an audiobook to be read to you. But those of you who want audiobook, I have it on there. I found copy for you. Hi, Evan.
My thing is weird.
Yeah, it's because kids have touched it. Bring it to me, we can tape it. That's how the magic of tape works.
Good dog.
No, we'll come back to that in a moment. Let's go to that one.
What's a footnote?
So,
Nothing.
if you look on, let's just find the same page for all of us. Go to page 41
How about 160?
or 41. So on page 41, you'll see at the bottom, and it has little numbers down there, where it says like, what, 14, it hardly dented the sadness, and 15, I got the phone from an ad. If you go up to the top where that writing is, you can find out where they have like little numbers. Like at the end of that first big paragraph, it says torturous and overwhelming time, and there's a little 14. That's where it gives you more information. And so this book has footnotes where he'll say something and then he'll give you more information. His information he gives is... Pause.
2.5 days.
So that is where the footnotes. It works sort of like my sassiness in class. He often in the book, as we go through it, will be snarky and sassy and make little side comments. And this is where he makes his snarky little side comments where his personality comes in. With book, I'm going to have you bring it back tomorrow. So, again, I'm aware that not all of you, many of you, complain about reading, even though we're in an advanced English class. I try not to let it make me cry myself to sleep every night. But as I have to pick books for you, I have options. And so I can either give you really short, hard book or longer, easier book. And so this one we're doing here is sort of one where I cheated because it's a shorter, easier book. But the way I'm able to get around it is it has thinky stuff in it. And not bad thinky stuff, as in we're going to get to have like conversations about what goes on in book. So that's why I like this one. Like those are the 4 of you who don't hate reading, this is a book you'll get done in a day. Because once you start reading, it's fast. Those of you who are a bit strugglier with reading, it shouldn't be awful. There's not big words in it. It doesn't take super long. There's pictures in there for Bella. And so it shouldn't take too much to get through it. Here's the thing. This is our practice book to get you ready for our next book.
What?
Because we have 2 books we're going to read coming up.
Oh, we have like how long do we have left to school? Are you keeping us throughout the summer?
Right.
I hope
So
not.
this book, if you think this one is rough, realize the book that we are going to be reading, because this one's only going to take us like 3 weeks to get through. It's a fast read and conversation.
3 weeks.
3
Yes.
weeks.
And we
Good job. And we have 8 weeks left, so then the 5 weeks,
8.
we're reading a much bigger book. And so it's Princess Bride, and so we're going to go through and talk about it from there. There is a movie that connects to this one, which is the movie roughly is just the middle section of the book. So if you've seen the movie, and if you haven't, you should, even before we read the book. The movie is outstanding. Tomorrow, we will talk more about gospel and this book and get into things from there.